2 more tomorrow and Friday. As the weather gradually warms through the weekend.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists.
میگه هر اتفاق که قراره بیفته که اتفاقا دوست نداره جنگ بشه.
Informó para PSN Noticias Javier Barba.
Well, so George, that worries me. So he's claiming that he's got this.
No, look, here's the thing about Cappy.
No, he does.
Cappy at one point in time was an elite level athlete. There's no question about that.
In the
I mean, he was an Iron Man, for God's sake.
And that is off of heart and will.
Right.
When they're punching you back, forget heart and will.
Yeah, heart and will doesn't work as well in those scenarios, especially when you've got visceral fat.
It's not, it's not
visceral fat. That's going to help. George, that's going to protect me.
A professional boxer, you can get getting punched by Bergman with a glove on.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, Bergman's got some anger pens up in there.
I said Bergman a good gym, man. Hey, see, Cappy's working out with Mario Lopez and Adrian Gonzalez in the morning.
That's like,
yes. Cappy's going Hollywood trainer.
Hollywood trainer.
He's like Tybo.
Beto sent him to yeah, right. It's like Tybo. And like Billy Blank.
Tybo is very successful.
Bergman's going to like a real boxing gym.
Hold on a second here. You're going to say the wild card gym is not a real gym? I mean,
no,
it's a real gym. Not when you're in there.
Careful, brother. That's Freddie Roach's place, okay? Yeah, but Freddie Roach ain't training you. Well, Freddie Roach is analyzing the video and calling me and talking to me afterwards.
No, Cappy, you're winning me back here. That's a legitimate establishment. You're winning me back here.
Thank you, Trudell.
Yeah. Well, okay. All right.
It's oh, by the way, Cappy, today was the shortest I've ever heard your show today. I clicked on it, and all I heard was these Skims, and they make your junk look bigger. Yep. Okay, I'm done.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
All right then.
5 seconds.
We're way over the break. So how about?
Bye, guys. Oh, here's Trudell. Here's the video.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, so let Trudell watch the video during the break.
Yeah,
okay.
Take a look.
And then let's get into some more awkwardness, which includes Mark Williams coming to L.A. We'll get to all that next.
It's the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Every weekday morning at 9 a.m.
Well, it's kind of funny when you got like little kids around and we're pounding
I'm not saying that you get wasted, but you can have a glass of beer.
You don't feel weird when you got your kids around like a team and you got a pitcher on the table? No? Okay. That always struck me as weird.
No, I mean, look, if I had a funnel and I was doing beer bongs, sure, not cool. Trav and D-Far. Back tomorrow after Clinton and Friends.
On LA's mega sports station, 710 ESPN.
This February, NextGen is making it easy to show someone you care with their Buy a Membership, Give a Membership special. When you sign up to become a NextGen VIP,
Dono and Cap for your afternoon drive.
walks around like a little puppy dog
On 710 ESPN.
Baby, let's cruise away from here.
What's with the slow jam today? What is this? Is this an anniversary?
Oh, this is a banger.
I know, but I'm saying, like, is this an anniversary today? Is it somebody's birthday?
Yeah.
Smokey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In fact,
85 years old?
we should tell him.
Happy Chinooka.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea what Chinooka is.
Well, Happy Chinooka nonetheless. That's from his cameo. For those that don't know, just out of context, Happy Chinooka from Smokey Robinson. I don't know what Chinooka is. Can you imagine him getting that and reading that on Cameo?
That's what I think of every time.
Right, because, he's going through this, like, list of things he has to read, right, on Cameo. So he's just going one after the other, and then he does that. He goes, Happy Chinooka.
And he's so genuinely, like, trying to be, like, happy and animated, like, here's another request for blah, 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 blah.
What
Happy Chinooka.
What if there wouldn't have been the C and he would have been like, Happy Hanukkah, whatever that is, Mike Trudeau, what are you munching on there, pal?
I forgot that you could see me. Oh.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, my front wearing camera.
Chick-fil-A. What you having? What are you, Chick-fil-A little nuggets?
Good.
You having nuts?
I will say it's unfortunate that fries don't take to time very well.
Oh yeah, they don't travel well.
Yeah, I mean, I bought them about an hour ago, and I figured I'll zap them, and it's not.
No,
it's just not the same.
And by the way,
Air fryer
Chick-fil-A.
to throw 'em in.
Yeah, but Chick-fil-A fries in general, especially the bigger waffle fries, they're also kind of floppy and greasy to begin with.
Oh, I like.
So there's not. I like them too, but there's not a lot of crunch to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cappy,
We need an air fryer here in the studio.
That's what
a good
I'm
idea.
saying.
A really good idea.
I did see the video, Cappy.
Okay, what do you think?
Well,
Well, before you knock it, I want to say one thing. Have you seen Bergie's video?
No.
See, so you don't really have much to compare it to.
Well, here's the thing: is that I'm wanting to give you the benefit of the doubt, not just because I like you, but because of the pedigree that we discussed earlier.
Okay.
And my first thought watching it was, this doesn't look like you're trying to impress so much as you're just kind of, hey, I'm here, I'm boxing.
Right.
So I think that you could do a lot more of a focused and a better and a more fierce display.
I agree.
If asked. And so that's where I'm faulting Beto, because he made it seem like, oh, this was a tryout or something.
Right.
Like you were auditioning for people to pick you in a fight versus Bergman. You weren't. You were kind of going through the motions. Is
Mike,
that accurate?
Yes, you have to understand. Adrian Gonzalez was on the receiving end of that beatdown. Okay. Now I love Adrian. I have a true love with this young man. Okay, and he was willing to play defense. So he's wearing that headgear, and he's holding up his glove, and he's not fighting back, he's just taking it. And so, I didn't want to hurt him, because what if I accidentally, really landed, and I got all this power behind me.
Yeah, this is important context, I'm back in.
Yeah, you see, and I don't want to hurt him, I love him,
Anyway.
I mean, I love Bergie too, but in a competitive environment, somebody got to go down. And I don't want it to be me.
By the way, Cappy, I'm sure you know this because you talked about this yesterday. I'm sure you remember now. ESPN LA, by the way, folks, the #1 most followed sports radio station in the world. Not even in the country anymore. Take that, Australia.
Yeah.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another big announcement, apparently.
Tomorrow we have another one?
Are you going to spoil that one too, Cappy?
What is it? Tell me it, and then I'll tell everybody.
Well, we know you'll do that.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, DeAndre goes, I don't think he was supposed to say that. And I was like, I mean, whoever told him that told them under the guise that it is.
Knows that he's going to be the blabbermouth.
Right. Nobody, I'll tell you what happened yesterday is Parker from our social media team said, Cap, can you shoot a video promoting that we're the #1 most followed sports radio station in the world? And I went,
didn't tell you can't say.
Right. He didn't say, but hey, by the way, we have to embargo this content, okay, until
I
tomorrow.
don't think that's your fault, Cappy.
Right. Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
I don't.
If you don't say to me, hey, this is not for air, then for me, everything's for air.
Yeah, exactly.
We know.
Parker learned a hard lesson that day.
He should know better.
Yeah, he should. Come on,
He's,
Parker.
he's laughing and saying, yes, I did.
Right, come on, Parker. Do better, bro.
Yeah. Real quick, before Cappy tells us about Seller's Advantage, let's start, Michael, with you and just the awkwardness today of the Mark Williams, I don't want to call it return because he was never really here, but his rescinded trade return to Los Angeles.
Well, it's certainly, there's some irony to it, in that this is one of the games that, of course, was canceled due to the LA fires, and so therefore there's no complaining, even if it's not ideal from the schedule standpoint. Much bigger things at play.
Right.
So that's where you start. I'm thinking that this is the most dramatic Lakers-Hornets game ever.
You have to go back to Shaq versus Larry Johnson and Alonzo Mourning or something.
The only one I can think of would be after the Kobe.
Shaq wasn't even there, actually, when those guys were there.
Yeah, after the Kobe Vlade Divac trade.
Right, that's probably
would be that year, but that when Kobe wasn't Kobe yet.
Yeah.
He was this super exciting.
He was a teenager.
But that wasn't the drama of basically the biggest in-season trade.
You know what?
And
This is actually not hyperbolic at all.
And to go one step further, it's the only game on the calendar,
right?
Which means the entire NBA will be watching and listening.
League Pass, baby.
Everybody will be watching. Is it a side-by-side? Is it national? I don't.
No national.
Okay, I figured
it's just you guys.
Okay, so it's just Spectrum, and the entire NBA world will be watching to see how Mark Williams plays, to see what Luka does, to see how Dalton Connect plays, who I thought, by the way, was really good in the LSU.
How Billy Mack says, Burungo.
I mean, Billy Mack is a legend.
And Jack in the Box.
And by the way, I think a very underrated play-by-play broadcaster, by the way. Absolutely knows his stuff. That's an aside. So, the most dramatic Lakers-Hornets game ever, and I'm all for it. Okay, I think Mark Williams will have a very good game. He's certainly going to
go after it. You should be pointing at Rob Pelinka.
But, and George, you pointed this out, I think, during crosstalk. Williams, where he still needs to evolve as a player, is on the defensive end.
Yeah, he's not very good.
So we'll see. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
And we'll see if the Lakers, now that they have Vanderbilt back, or I should say Finney Smith and Vincent back, Vanderbilt played the previous game.
Right.
I think that's where they get their defensive identity.
All right. Well, Cappy, before you ask any questions about Mark Williams of Michael, how about you tell us first about Seller's Advantage so we can get sort of back on track.
I would love to. And then I'm going to tell you, George, when you talk about how bizarre tonight is or how uncomfortable it might be for Mark Williams, I have a theory on that as well. As to why it might even be,
can't wait
more.
for this.
Okay.
Locked in. Oh, this is going to be great.
But in the meantime, let me just say to everybody, hey, look, if you would like to sell your home, now would be a very opportune moment. Why? Because, as we all know, there have been a lot of people in LA County that have lost their homes, unfortunately. Very sad. And they're looking for places to live. And in some cases, many people know how long it's going to take to rebuild, so they're like, hey, listen, I'm ready to go buy something somewhere else. So if you are ready to sell your home because you want to move and you want a change of scenery, mom and dad left you a home and you don't want to own it, you don't want to pay the property taxes, you don't want to play landlord, that's your business. For whatever reason, you decide you want to sell. Seller's Advantage is here to make it as easy for you as possible, because what they do is they come to your home and they make you a competitive cash offer. They know what the house 3 doors down sold for, they know what the house around the block sold for, and what they're going to say to you is, look, you don't have to paint, you don't have to fix the walls, you don't have to clean the carpets, you don't have to do anything. We're willing to buy the house as is for cash. And what that means is no complicated closing process, and you don't have to worry about the deal falling through. And just, oh, by the way, if you want to check them out, Seller's Advantage, you can look at all the online reviews, and they've got millions of them that tell you that they've got a ton of satisfied customers. So here's what you should do. For a no-obligation offer, call them. 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-AS-IS, 888-390-2747, or visit them online at sellersadvantage.com.
Somehow, someway, the superstars end up in Los Angeles.
You don't come here for nothing else than championship, so I have everything left to prove, so the goal is to win the championship.
Welcome home, Luka.
Back to Luka. Luka, step back, another three. He hit it again. And Luka has swished 2 threes.
What does this mean for the Lakers' chances at another chip? I guess it's time to find out.
Luka still dribbling, wide open for 3. Good.
It's a gift. We're talking about a 25-year-old that is top 3 player in the universe.
I get to play in the greatest club in the world, and I'm excited for this new journey.
I can't think of a more amazing starting point to build a roster for the next decade, and I know he has the drive to win that we have here. Our fans are going to see that every night on the court.
This is the home of the Lakers and the new home of Luka. 710 ESPN.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Trav with DeMarco. Only one all-star defense team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Don't get sacked by others. Joseph will help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000. Let Joseph and his team score a touchdown for you.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? Because it's just better for you. And our Asian-inspired menu has high-quality proteins that are healthier for you. Our steamed vegetables and signature salads are made fresh for you. Our sauces are more...
How is that related?
On 710 ESPN.
Ozzy Osbourne, what today?
Didn't he have an anniversary today that I saw?
No, this
today?
is,
I know this is not Ozzy Osbourne, but I'm saying, like, this is...
Manfred Mann.
Yeah, Manfred
Blinded
Mann.
by the Light was a #1 hit back in 1977.
I would never have gotten Manfred Mann.
I only know that because we've talked about this, I'm fairly certain, in this exact conversation where it's like, Manfred Mann, they were one-hit wonders, they never had another hit. Manfred Mann, who knows that?
Manfred Mann, Blinded by the Light's a good song. And also, 5 years later, Ozzy Osbourne was arrested for urinating on the Alamo, excuse me.
I like to put those stupid ones in there because they're funny and we never talk about them, but that was a good one.
And I had to go to the bathroom, I had to pee.
I don't really understand why people get, like guys in particular, get arrested for peeing in public. I mean, everybody's dog walks around peeing everywhere. What's the difference?
Dogs also don't wear pants.
Yeah.
So what?
Cappy, that's not a terrible take. You know, it's like there are worse things. Now, the thing that I would be extremely cautious
you're
of, though.
comparing a dog's private part and an animal not wearing pants to a human
I think the
being.
key is you just don't want children around, okay? But outside of that, if you got to go and you're kind of looking around. Now, this happens to me sometimes, Cappy, at soccer tournaments for my kids.
Sounds like
where
you have personal experience.
you're out there in all of these fields, and it's like a really far walk to the Biffy. And you're kind of looking around, and there's a wooded area behind, and you can see trees, and there's brush. You know, that's the thing. Now, maybe you want to try to hide it a little more than Ozzy did.
Right. Well, listen, I'm not suggesting... I'm not suggesting that, like, I'm going to walk down the street and I'm going to be on the corner of, Figueroa and Olympic, and I'm just going to whip it out and pee all over the ground.
Why not? You would not be in the minority if you did that.
Well, you see that, Lindsay? How about
Somebody who
that?
lived downtown, listen, every morning I used to fear, like, what I would see when I walked out of that little corridor where my apartment was, and I saw more naked butts from the unhoused than I've ever seen in my life.
Unhoused?
Yes, on those days where I had to start waiting until, like, later in the day, so they were already gone for, like, they've already woken up for the morning, because otherwise it's like, just butts sticking out everywhere.
All I'm saying is that as a guy, okay, sometimes we have to pee so bad and there's nothing around, and what's the big deal if we pull off to a side alley over here and you pee? And, people get arrested for that? I mean, dogs pee everywhere. People walk around with their dogs and they just pee all over the street. That's okay. But me, I gotta pee and my bladder's gonna explode, but I can't do it.
I would like to hang out with your dog, by the way, because I miss my Frenchie. So
he's great,
we can
man.
talk about that.
Yeah,
We'll
he's
put that
such
on
a
the
good
list.
boy. Yeah.
He said he bites people.
Well, he does, but right now
gums them now.
he
He's
gums
gonna
them
be
now.
Frenchie's got a
Tell
little
him,
aggressive.
George.
It's fine. I'm used to that. By the way, Luca's going to be happy tonight because Real Madrid just pounded Man City in the Champions League.
Oh, really? They haven't. I was watching Aston Villa and Liverpool earlier today.
Oh, you sound like I Marcus Rashford. Yeah, Manchester
Hey,
United. We love
since we're talking soccer here, I think you guys are going to be impressed with my contribution.
Oh, here we go.
You ready for this?
Oh, wait, was this the question that you had waiting for us?
No, but today on Prize Picks, you know who I played? I played Mbappe to have more than 4 shots on goal, and he had 7.
You had a hat trick, bro.
Yeah, had 7 shots on goal and had 3 goals.
Oh, congratulations. That's a good call by you.
Yeah, thank you. I've got him together with Juju Watkins. Well, I'll tell you more about it later.
Okay, great.
Anyway, hey,
Go ahead. You wanted to ask him about Mark Williams.
Well, here's the thing about Mark Williams tonight, okay? Mark Williams makes his triumphant return to Los Angeles, okay? And I think where things will get a little weird tonight is when the Lakers put up their video tribute on the scoreboard. Don't you think? Like celebrating Mark Williams and his brilliant career with the Lakers. But let me run something by you guys, because I'm the only one who's promoting my own conspiracy theory here. Tell me if you think there's anything to this, okay? So the Lakers trade for Mark Williams. He comes in, he fails the physical, they nix the trade, they send him back, right? And Rob Pelinka has said very publicly that the reason he traded for Mark Williams is A, the need for a big body, but B, they went to Luka and said, who do you like? And Luka said, I like this kid. And they said, okay, we'll go see if we can make a deal. So they go make the deal, but maybe the Lakers are like, we don't really think he's very good. He's always hurt. He's kind of young. We're not that impressed. So what they do is they make Luka happy. Hey, we traded for him. They bring him in. He fails the physical. They go back to Luka, and they're like, hey, sorry, man. It's just that he failed the physical. That's all. So we had to nix the whole trade. And then Luka's happy because he knows that the Lakers are trying to accommodate his requests, but he also understands that, hey, we can't take damaged goods. So I'm suggesting to you guys today, again, my own personal conspiracy theory that no one else is promoting other than me, that the Lakers made the move to make Luka happy, but they nixed the move because they never really wanted him in the first place.
Have at
what do
it,
you guys think?
Go ahead.
I mean, okay. Do I have
Wait a
to?
second. So you're not you've loved everything I've said so far today. Pee on the streets, good. You were all for peeing on the streets.
This is why George wants to have me in, so he doesn't have to handle this type
Cappy, I don't think that was the case. I don't think they had like buyer's remorse at the last second. There wasn't a lot of options for them out there. And look, they were going to give up a lot for Mark Williams, but the reality is that, in essence, to me, would have been part of the Luka trade. I don't think that Mark Williams was some sort of like game changer for them, but he certainly was better than what they had. And you need some semblance of depth because most teams now have what I would call athletic big men on the roster, and he certainly fits that mold despite having a number of warts, particularly on defense.
Yeah, Cappy, I would just say we don't know, and partly because doctors cannot talk about whatever happened
laws.
in the physical.
Yeah.
So we don't know what happened, what they saw. We don't know
Apparently
what
he
Charlotte
didn't
said.
either.
Blah blah blah. So we and Rob Pelinka hasn't talked about it yet, so I don't know. The only thing that I can surmise though is that generally teams don't want to be in a position. This is like in this case on the Lakers side, you do not want to trade for a player and then have the player go back and take back two guys that know that you traded them to another place. Like that is a lot on those players, on the organization. You have to repair a lot of things. It's just tough. In this case, of course, it's Cam Reddish and Dalton Connect. So there's no way to me that you do that move unless you actually want to make the move because you like the player in Mark Williams and you like the potential of him. And I don't know that that's changed. So the one thing that you could guess is that it is simply a medical issue, and they looked at it, and that's it. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just listen. I'm only going by this. You ready? The kid himself had a quote today that he was shocked that he failed the physical. I'm not going to go into it's not that important, right?
What he's done. Yeah.
Done.
But he just
Hashtag hella minutes.
Yeah. Hella minutes. He did say, he goes, hey man, I've been playing hella minutes.
He
So I
played
would
hella
ask
minutes
you.
the night of the trade.
Right. So I would ask you guys. I mean, you guys, I'm sure, did a lot more detailed investigation on this than I did. But when you look back at Mark Williams prior to the trade, did he miss 15 of the previous 20 games? Did he play in the previous 15 or 20 games? Was he playing a lot of minutes? I mean, just all I'm saying is this. I'm not accusing anybody. I don't. It's not like some like great big story. I'm just saying that like when he gets here and they realize how much they've given up for him and they realize that he's injury prone, like at some point you're like, this deal sucks. It doesn't feel good. You know what? Let's fail the physical.
All right, we can answer more of this on the other side in this awkward afternoon and evening that the Lakers are going to have today with the Charlotte Hornets coming to town. But Cappy, first tell us about your friend Abner Gatt.
I would love to. Hey, listen, guys, we all know what has happened in L.A. over the last month and change. And calling Abner Gatt to help deal with your insurance company is a great first step. Seriously, like you're under a lot of stress. You're trying to figure out what to do. There's a lot of like PTSD about what has just happened in your life. You'd be better served calling Abner Gatt and letting him deal with your insurance company. But let's look at it a little bit differently. Let's say that you have talked about this a lot because I've dealt with this myself. The case may be, if you've got a flood in your house and all of a sudden, you call your homeowner's insurance company and you think, well, they're going to have my back, of course, but your adjuster is making you feel like you're some kind of criminal or something, and you can't figure out, like, how am I going to replace my living arrangements, and how come you're not calling me back? Listen, this is why you call Abner Gatt. He is an expert in dealing with these homeowners insurance companies. You and me, we are not experts, okay? So let an expert handle this for you. It's not just that he's an expert in dealing with this. He's got people who are on his team, and you can go to abnergatt.com and find out everybody on the team, and you can see their background.
Next Gen is offering ESPN LA listeners a special deal to help you enjoy cleaner, safer air all year long. For a limited time, LA homeowners can get a whole home air purifier, a $1,250 value, free with any heating and AC installation. That's right, protect your home and loved ones with cleaner, safer air while enjoying top-notch heating and cooling. If you're concerned about the air quality in your home or have allergy problems, call Next Gen and breathe.
710 ESPN.
KSPN Los Angeles. A good karma brands radio station.
710 ESPN.
It's Dotto and Cap for your afternoon right now on 710 ESPN.
It's time for what you need to know.
Let's do it. What you need to know right now.
What you need to know is brought to you by Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Good times, just 90 minutes from wherever you are. Take it away, Lynn.
Thanks, Dotto. But the Chargers
Oh,
are going international.
Sao Paulo.
Yep. They're going to be opening up the international season for the NFL, playing on the Friday before opening weekend. They have not announced their opponent yet, but yep, Chargers are headed to Brazil.
I'm sure, Cappy, you should go over there and wear like a G-string. You know?
Well, no. I would go over there and I would wear all my new Raider gear.
Right, so I'm saying like a Raider G-string. You know,
Yeah.
like dudes over there, they barely wear anything. You know what I mean?
What if they play the Raiders? What if
Dudes
that's
wear
their
like
opponent?
Speedo G-strings over there.
Hey, if the Raiders go to play the Chargers in Sao Paulo, that might be of interest to me. In the short term, though, I guess on one hand, I kind of understand where the NFL is coming from in that
the Chargers will go to Sao Paulo, and that's a home game, and for it's whatever, it's fine. Like they're the team that could be the sacrificial lamb, kind of like the Jaguars going international all the time.
Right, but like it doesn't necessarily make sense to me that the Rams are going to go play in Australia when they have to give up a home game.
Yeah, that I don't get.
But I think in the end, if I'm trying to put myself in the NFL shoes, hey, we moved these two teams to LA. One of them has already won a Super Bowl, and one of them has an international following, the Rams, and the other one is just sort of like, nobody really cares. So maybe we can try and create an international following for them.
Yeah, so I actually worked in, I think I mentioned this to you before, Cappy. I worked in NFL Europe, right? And so I was literally a part of the NFL's desperate hope of trying to create this international audience, and it went bankrupt and failed, and they called them back and they called it off. I think the issue is that nobody plays football in any of these countries.
Right.
So soccer here started in part, and the reason it's gotten bigger is because all of the kids play.
Right.
There are fields everywhere. So there are
knows his daughters play.
Well, sure. And so this is the thing. I get it. The NFL has so much money that they can afford to just, we're going to do games in Germany and Brazil and London.
And act like they've got some sort of presence.
And act like there's presence and interest. And they probably give the tickets away to some extent. Or they must have to lower the prices. Or it's a novelty. Sure, let's go watch American football. That's great. I'm not saying don't do it. But it's not going to, catch on in the rest of the world.
Well, it's funny you say that, though. Here's a thought, and I was having this conversation earlier today. Is why do this for regular season games?
I don't get it.
Let me ask you a question. If you're in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and they bring the Chargers and the Jaguars over, and it's week 2 of the preseason, do the people of Sao Paulo, Brazil go, I'm not going to some preseason trash? I'm not doing that. Because, when you think about the Premier League of soccer,
they bring friendlies.
They bring all their exhibitions to the U.S. And a lot of times...
Yes and no. So Manchester United, is my team. By the way, we're having our worst year since the 70s.
It's terrible. By the way, shout out to the Bournemouth. They're playing really well this year.
Yeah,
shout out to Bournemouth.
But here's the problem. So I went to San Diego, Cappy, your hood.
Yeah.
The Snapdragon one?
Yeah.
And which is, by the way, on our jerseys. So I think that's why they did it. Yep. And it was the third team. It was all the
kids. That's my point.
Now they played their side against Arsenal in LA a week later.
Right.
But so half the games they'll play some of their guys, and then half the games they'll play all the youth.
But that's my point. Is that when you bring over Manchester United to the United States, their fans will want to see them play, and they'll pay top dollar. And oftentimes, you're not even seeing the star players that you want to see play, which is what I'm getting at.
And they're not playing hard.
What I'm saying is that if you took the Chargers and the Jaguars as an example, and you brought them to Brazil, and it was week 2 of the preseason rather than week 1 of the regular season, who would be like, I'm not going? Because it's a preseason game. In America, we say that.
Yeah.
Internationally, they may go, hey, great, American football. It's a novelty. Let's go check it out.
Yeah. I'm actually with you, Cappy, in that regard. But I think the London experience has happened for so many years that they probably are like, nah, we're not doing just preseason anymore.
Yeah, well, they may have gotten spoiled. Mike, you were over in NFL Europe, you say. Do you recall what year that was?
It was 2006.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was
Cliff Kingsbury? Yeah, Kingsbury was my QB1. Yeah. Greatest guy ever. He didn't let me pay for anything the whole time. I was broke. I was just out of college.
What team were you working for? Or were you working for the league?
Cologne Centurions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was over there too, Mike, probably around that same time. I was probably over there close to that same time. I was doing broadcasts for the NFL Network. And we went from Frankfurt, Germany.
Yeah.
To then we went to Amsterdam, which is where the home base office was.
Yep.
And then we went to Dusseldorf, Germany to do games.
So right across the river from Cologne.
Did you ever go to the Rhine Fire, Cappy?
I didn't go to the Rhine Fire, but the Rhine Fire I think played the Frankfurt Galaxy.
That's right. Frankfurt Galaxy won my year. Shout out to my boy
Barcelona Dragons.
Yeah, right on.
So the Barcelona team moved to Frankfurt.
Oh.
I think so they used to have it. They had a team in London and Barcelona, and then they were like, well, it was a complete dud there. So Germany they had a little bit of a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So they centralized there, and they had 5 German teams in the Amsterdam team, and then that went away.
I loved NFL Europe. I loved it, man.
It was a great time for me.
I remember I signed to play in NFL Europe, and all I wanted to do was just go play for Amsterdam, the Amsterdam Admirals. I was like, I'm going to smoke weed and play football. It's going to be great. And I signed with the league. And the day of the NFL Europe draft, I'm sitting in my crappy little apartment, right? And my phone rings, and I'm like, oh, this must be it. And by the way, ESPN wasn't televising the NFL Europe draft, So my phone rings, landline, and I'm like, this must be it. And at the time, I got so the call comes
Was it like
in.
your mom?
No, it was the special teams coach for the Chicago Bears.
Oh.
And he said to me, "Hey, we want to sign you." And I go, "Well, that's great."
Don't they have Kevin Butler at that time?
They do. They did have Kevin Butler, but they needed somebody else, to
They
compete.
need somebody a little better looking.
Well, and so long story short is I was like, I'll sign, but I want you guys to assign me then to the Amsterdam Admirals. And they were like, nah, we're not doing that. You're coming here, and that's the end of it.
Your camp fodder, basically.
That was,
Oh,
yeah, and then that's exactly what happened.
In the red light district mourned.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was just there in the red light district. Can you imagine
Cappy,
walking through the red light?
you could have latched on had you. It was a couple of kickers that, like John Carney was one guy you had to try to compete against,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Kevin Butler, right?
Yep.
Who was the other guy?
Jason, what was his name for the Detroit Lions? Jason, and he was great.
He was
man.
great. Yeah.
Jason Hansen.
Yeah.
He had a great career at Washington
you
State.
lost out to 3 awesome kickers.
Oh yeah, right.
Cappy, you could have been my kicker. So I'm trying to remember his first name. Oh no, our kicker his name was Tim Duncan. Just
I
like
don't
the
remember
basketball player. And I did a feature with him called Dining with Duncan, where I convinced the local pubs around Cologne to let us eat for free, and then I would write a review under Tim's name.
There you go.
And so we'd go, they'd bring the whole thing out, and they'd bring out the beer, the Kolsch's, it's like the local beer, and it was all free, and that was the other reason I mentioned Cliff paid for the stuff, or I got it for free,
right,
and then wrote about it.
The best part for me was when we got to Frankfurt. I think they were playing the Rhine Fire, and my college roommate was he was starting his coaching career at the time, and so he was the offensive coordinator of the Rhine Fire. And so they had whatever it was, 2 or 3 days in Frankfurt, and all we did, dude, was go out all night long and party, which was great because in Europe, things they just go until the wee hours.
Yeah.
So that was it was one of those things where I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest. I just had my 3rd kid. I couldn't wait to get away from my wife and my kids, and I went to Europe for 3 weeks. And it was awesome, man.
By the way, what's on tap today on 710 ESPN is brought to you by our friends at Michelob Ultra. Lakers are back tonight as they host the Hornets in the most awkward meeting of the year. Coverage begins at 5:30, tip-off at 7. Hear it right here on 710 ESPN or in crystal clear digital audio on the all-new ESPN LA app. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, only worth it. Get to that, by the way, now that we've done our stroll through Europe on the show. So, Cappy, you were going to ask Michael about Mark Williams.
Well, if you guys went back and looked at what he had done before the trade, I mean, was there an indication that he was healthy or that he was damaged goods? Now, there has been injuries in his short
He's only played
career.
40% of the games.
Right. But what about in the 10 or 15 games prior to the trade? Did you guys happen to look into that?
Yeah. So he didn't play the first couple of months of the season due to an injury, but then he was basically playing since then.
Right.
But Cappy, it's to me it's pointless to kind of speculate about what was on the physical or not. I'm guessing that there was something on there. So that aside, he will be playing tonight. He will be motivated. I get it. The Lakers will be motivated to try and reclaim that best stretch of basketball that they had played. If you take the Utah game out, George, they were 10-1 heading to the All-Star break, with Luka playing just one of those games and AD playing 4.
Right.
And so they found this chemistry between Austin Reeves and LeBron on offense, and then Finney Smith, Vanderbilt, and Vincent on defense, and kind of toughness, personality. And so, Cappy, you for sure would love to have a more seasoned big in there as an option. Now, they were able to go out and get Alex Len, essentially for nothing, right, who was waived.
I mean, understandably so.
Yeah, right, but I'm just saying a body.
By the way, how much difference is there between Alex Len and Mark Williams?
There's a difference.
Yeah, there's a difference.
But I mean, is it 80% to Williams and 40% to Len? Or I mean, are they comparable players?
I mean, Alex Len was available for a reason.
Well, here's the thing. On defense, right, where
Len is a little better.
Where Williams still has some work to do, and the Lakers, to me, Christian Koloko actually is better defensively than Mark Williams right now. They're two-way guys.
I would definitely play Koloko more than I would play Alex Len.
Well, and so I want to give him a couple games because getting thrown in when you don't know anything, and here go play in Utah. So I would set that aside. But yes, if you were able to get him, then he's available.
He was just a warm body.
But if I were Jackson Hayes though tonight would be my night.
Oh, Gabby, so you just raised the point. So Jackson Hayes is just going to be dunking 8 times a game with no one around him, with either Luka or LeBron throwing him alley-oops. And I think defensively, their best groups have been these smaller, and I say small, which is basically all 6'9" guys.
Yeah, they're long.
You know, and so like that group, whether it's been with Vanderbilt and Hachimura and Finney-Smith, LeBron, Luka, like that group to me has been really effective defensively, and therefore you're probably not closing games even if you had Mark Williams in the fold, and that's part of the deal. So now you're closing games with that quote-unquote small group that is excellent offensively and can kind of hang in defensively with effort and energy.
All right, coming up next, Cappy, speaking of deals, Mike mentioned a deal, closing the deal. Well, it looks like the Rams, there's chatter, perhaps, that they know what they want in a potential Matthew Stafford deal. So let's get to that in a second. But first, Cappy, let's talk about Prize Picks. You mentioned earlier that you have played Prize Picks today like LeBron's not going to play.
Right.
We'll wait and see on that. But Prize Picks, listen, it's very simple. If you want action in the state of California, download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code CAPPY, K-A-P-P-Y. First $5 play gets you a $50 bonus. You can win up to 1,000 times your money in as little as 4 picks. And here's how you do it. It's as simple as this. There's a stat for each individual player in pretty much every sport imaginable, and you pick more or less. You see the stat number, and you say, is this person going more or less than that particular number? You bundle them together. The more you bundle together, the higher you have a chance of winning more money in that particular instance, and you can get your money as quickly as 15 minutes once you want to withdraw, Cappy.
Right, but I was so ice cold for so long, and I kept going for these home runs. I kept trying to play 6 players to try and win the most money. And then finally last night, I'm like, forget it, man. I'm just going 2 players. I had a $20 play. It paid $60, so I put a couple bucks in the bank. Today, here's my plays. I had Mbappe, the soccer player, to have more than 4 shots on goal. He had 7. He scored 3 goals. I did play tonight's Prize Picks, assuming that LeBron was not going to play, and here's what I did. I took Austin Reeves to score more than 21 points, and I took Luka tonight to score more than 26.5 points, under the thought that Luka would be the primary focus of the offense, and without LeBron in the game, that Luka would be firing away. So I've got Austin Reeves for more than 21, Luka for more than 26.5, and George, this will make you happy. Here's my last play tonight, because I'm going for a $20 flex play to win $100. I've got Juju Watkins tonight against Michigan State to score more than 24.5 points. Good luck to me, and good luck to everybody else out there who's playing Prize Picks.
Prize Picks, run your game.
Mason and Ireland.
Chevrolet top hitter, Mike Capozio. He's facing off with the Bulldog, and these two have quite the history. Here's the pitch. Oh, he got all of it. The ball is out of here like a red Corvette, and it's going, and going, and going. In SoCal. Go to ESPNLA.com and nominate who you think is making LA a better place. This can be a mentor, a teacher, a coach, a good Samaritan, a youngster who brightens your day. Tell us who's smiling and you could win some awesome prizes like sweet tickets from ESPN LA, Sonicare electric toothbrushes, whitening treatment, and a grand prize of Invisalign from Beverly Hills Ortho.
Dono and Cap for your afternoon drive.
Really? Oh, my B.
Yeah.
My B.
Your B.
On 710 ESPN.
Did you look that up, Lindsay, or did it come to you?
It came to me.
She knows.
Didn't the brother win Dancing with the Stars or something?
Oh, did he? I didn't.
I don't-
I've never watched Dancing with the Stars.
My wife likes that show. I'm not really big enough, and I don't know that it's worth a Google. Honestly, we can just move on.
Not worth the Google.
It's also Seal's birthday today. I don't know if we were going to have any music for Seal, but Seal's in that new commercial where he's a seal.
Oh, really?
Have you
Yeah,
seen
from
it?
the Super Bowl.
Was that the Super Bowl commercial?
Yeah,
yeah. I like barely remember.
Well, it's on TV now a lot, though. I've seen it a bunch recently. So,
I like Seal.
yeah, he's badass.
Call myself a Seal fan.
Yeah?
Is he still married to Heidi Klum?
No.
That's over, huh?
Fairly certain, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be somewhat new, no?
We've said it pretty definitively.
No.
I know you seem like you could hang out with the two of them.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say this. My old
You and
agent
Kelly
used to
will do
rep
party?
Heidi.
Who used to rep Heidi?
My old agent used to rep Heidi.
Okay.
Yeah, they have now been married since 2014, so I had that right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
George.
11 years. Nice work.
Yeah. Yeah, my old agent used to rep Heidi Klum, so that's why I knew. I remember him telling me back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before, like, TMZ had it. How about that?
Second straight segment with a Germany reference.
There you go.
That's exciting.
All right, Matthew Stafford. So there's reports out there that the Rams would be seeking a first-round pick. I don't know about you, Michael, because Cappy and I talked about this yesterday. Listen, I trust Sean McVay at this point. So if they feel like Stafford is only worth it to them within certain financial parameters, I'm good with that. Especially at 37 years old. And I think I'm a big believer in you got to pay guys for future performance, not past performance. He wants to get paid amongst the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. And maybe he can still be that in the short term, but I don't know if you can pay him long-term money at this stage of his career.
So just correct me on the facts here. He signed his deal in 2022,
But
right?
he's got no guaranteed money this year.
Right.
That's the
So
key.
nothing is left.
Right.
So
he's got the deal. He's still a year left, but
he's
there's
got
no
his last
guarantee
year.
money.
So
Right.
think about it like this, Mike. If he's going to get paid, call it $25 million for the season, but let's just say they decide in week 3 of the preseason,
we're out.
like, you know what, we don't like what Stafford's doing.
Yeah.
We're going to cut him. If they cut him,
He gets nothing.
he gets
Right.
zippo.
It's the NFL. Nothing's really
Right. Monopoly money.
I think that I would be at the point, just looking at the roster and thinking long term and how do you rebuild an actual Super Bowl contender, that yeah, if you can get a legit first for a team that feels like they're closer,
Right.
sure, because you don't want to give them you don't necessarily want to give them the contract, and I would caution though. What are the Rams going to then do at the quarterback position?
I mean, they have Jimmy Garoppolo who makes nothing, like $3 million.
Bad.
But
He's like Alex Len.
well, he's not Alex Len.
Come on.
What I would say is this: with Jimmy Garoppolo at $3 million, you got a lot of money to work with. Well, is what I would say.
Yes.
To build an
You're
even
not
better
winning.
team around him.
But basically that's just a fill-in.
Yeah, he's a stopgap.
Yeah, it's a cheap stop. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How long then does it take to build the rest of the
year or two.
roster up
A year.
with your caretaker quarterback? I
Right.
guess is
He's
the word.
a 1-year guy.
Yeah,
Right, but think about this. If you go into the season next year and Matthew Stafford is your quarterback, regardless of what he's getting paid, you still think you have a legitimate chance. I mean, you look at this past season, you look at the game against Philadelphia, in Philadelphia, and you think, with Matthew Stafford, we have a shot. If you go into the season with Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't think the Rams have any shot of making a Super Bowl, or even a Super Bowl run.
Well, would you?
Well, by the way, he is an unrestricted free agent. That was $3 million last year, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he's probably not. You don't want to necessarily franchise him.
No.
Do you?
Gosh, no.
No, you're not doing that with Garoppolo. Garoppolo, you're doing.
No, I'm saying with Stafford.
Oh, no, because then he makes the top. What is it? Top 4 money.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just bearing out the situation though, because if you just let him walk.
Well, you can't let him walk. He's under contract. So you're going to trade him if he's not going to play for you.
All right, let me make a suggestion.
If you don't re-sign him though, so
Yeah,
then you're just
right.
using him for this year, and
Right.
you're saying, so why not just do that? If you don't get
He
the pick
doesn't
that
want to
you
come.
want.
He doesn't want to play for no guaranteed money.
Of
Well,
course, but
and
you
believe
can-
me,
I
he ain't
think-
going to do it.
but
He ain't
that-
going to do it.
Play hardball though if you're the Rams, and if you don't get the if you don't get a pick, if you don't get a first round pick, then all right, well, this is going to be your last year. Sorry.
All right, well, let me make a suggestion. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty of teams in the NFL, and when I say plenty, I don't mean like 20, I mean there's a handful, that desperately need legitimate starting quarterbacks.
Yes.
Okay? So here's a thought process. You ready?
Including my Minnesota Vikings.
Well, perhaps. That is a possibility.
They may
Although
go
at
with
the
young
end,
J.J. McCarthy.
Well, that's the plan for now. I'm
Well,
just saying, yeah. If you,
I mean, at the NFL honors, their head coach went on the stage and said, "Hey, Sam Darnold's a part of our future."
Yeah,
I mean, that was
I
a
didn't
pretty
know that.
public place to say that.
I didn't know that.
But here's the thing: if you're the Raiders, as an example, you have the 6th pick in the draft. This is not considered like the strongest quarterback draft. It's certainly not what last year's quarterback draft was.
Right.
Okay. So you're not going to get one of the top 2 quarterbacks at the number 6 pick, right? So what if the Raiders said, okay, Rams, guess what? We need a franchise quarterback. And by the way, we're kind of playing the short-term game here because Pete Carroll's contract is 3 years with a club option for 4.
Right.
Pete Carroll essentially has 3 years to get this thing turned around. If you were Pete Carroll and you were Chip Kelly, their new offensive coordinator,
You would want Matt Stafford.
and you could get Matt Stafford, and you could trade the number 6 pick for Matthew Stafford, would the Rams be interested in the number 6 pick, and would the Raiders be interested in Matthew Stafford?
Perhaps. And, I mean, the Rams, whatever pick they'd get, they would just trade down to get more picks anyway.
well, so first, let's try to agree on where we would rank Stafford amongst NFL quarterbacks. Like,
He's in, like, the top 10.
I'm thinking, like somewhere between 9 and 11. Somewhere, there's like Herbert's in there, Jalen Hurts, right? Like probably you got Jaden Daniels probably above him at this point, right?
Oh,
I think-
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you got I don't know, Goff is that's
Goff
ironic.
is probably right now
In that
considered
mix?
above him, but not by much.
I would not.
Not by much.
No?
I
They're
would not
close.
consider
They're
him.
close.
NFL.com's got Goff 4th, which seems to me very high.
Yeah.
I would drop him below there. But he's in that range.
So, yeah,
somewhere
look,
between 8 and 12.
Right.
So how much is that worth?
Right. Yeah.
And he's 37 years old.
Right.
Okay, and you're going to have to pay him, and therefore, the way the NFL salary cap works, if you commit like to a long-term deal, doesn't the money not count towards the cap in the same way that if you were gonna, I know you can't franchise him, but if you were just going to give him like a 1-year deal,
right,
then you couldn't sign the safety that you need,
correct,
and the D lineman that you need,
correct,
yeah.
I would say that the Rams' frustration with Stafford, if there is, and this is just this is sort of an opinion.
I would say with the Staffords.
Yeah, right. I think the Rams are looking at Matthew Stafford and they're going, 37 years old, has had a lot of injuries. Yes, he's a warrior and he plays through them. But you know what? Like this, every single year we're back to the same story of he doesn't have guaranteed money, so we got to keep renegotiating. I think it's why Sean McVay said kind of when they first got knocked out, like, I don't want to be dealing with this all off season. You know, and I think dealing with this is not just he doesn't have guaranteed money, but we're going to get the call from you-know-who, and she's going to be complaining to the owner about wanting more guaranteed money.
On her podcast, too.
Yeah.
By the way, guess how many rushing yards Stafford had this year?
Like 4.
I was going to say minus 20.
45.
Oh, wow. Pretty
45
good.
rushing yards.
There you win, George.
0 rush TDs.
I was closer.
Yeah, you won.
I mean, 24 touchdowns to 8 picks. That's good.
No, he still can throw the ball.
He can still
he
dart
can
that
sling
thing
it if
around.
you can protect him.
Not only can he throw it, but here's the thing.
He's tough. He hangs in there. Yeah.
When you look at that game against Philadelphia in the snow, the Rams did get the ball late in the game, and they did have a chance to win that game. And you thought, and I know what I was thinking, oh, wow, you're going to give Matthew Stafford the ball with this much time? Here come the Rams. Rams are about to win this game.
Yeah, I thought so.
So you have, when you have a quarterback like Stafford, you have the we're always in the game mentality.
100%. All right, coming up next, we've got Radio Tinder. ESPN LA, by the way, is now the #1 most followed sports radio station in the world. Tune in tomorrow for another big announcement, so make sure you tune in for that. Radio Tinder, Cappy, is up next.